I just finished listening to Rick Rubin's podcast episode with Gene Simmons. It was a little
Mm.
over 3 hours, and
Jeez.
it was one incredible episode. I listened to it over a
Huh.
period of about a week and a half, and I didn't know who Gene Simmons was at
Really?
all.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And after listening to that episode, what an incredible journey. And he kept talking
Huh.
about the popularity of Kiss and how it had evolved over the years, and they would have their faces on the Empire State Building and on pizza boxes, in comic books, toys, subway tickets, a bunch of different things, and all these fans worldwide. And I thought that was so incredible. But what I thought was even more incredible was these artists were so famous, and I didn't know
Mm.
anything about them. I didn't even know the name Gene Simmons till about a week and a half
Yeah,
ago.
exactly. Yeah, isn't that
And
wild?
that always stuns me about art in general. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be just music, it could be any medium.
Yeah.
An artist, a person could amass so much fame and have all these accomplishments under them, but they could still go forgotten or unknown to so many people. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. No, I think about that a lot, in part because of the allure of like fame and the allure of uh that kind of like, oh, you're known or whatever. And it's like it's fleeting. And in the end, it's like I used to a buddy of mine, we started talking about like the idea of legacy, and I was like, dude, can you name anyone that you are not directly related to that is just one generation back? Like my grandfather's generation. I was like, like most people can barely name a president that, from that, that isn't, before the 80s. It's like a handful of people can't even name the president. And I'm like, that's like the most famous person in the United States, and I was like, like, you won't have a legacy. You won't, like, even if you're famous, even if you're Gene Simmons, like that's the biggest band in the world in like in the 80s. And it's like, and now people don't even know who you are, and it's like, that's just how quick that dissipates, and which is fine. That's the nature of it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is wrong if it gets in your head of thinking that, oh, I'm something, I'm this big deal, and then suddenly when you're not a big deal, like think about like Madonna, like what's Madonna been doing, and it's like, what does she do? And she's like, if she's trying to cling to that like previous self, then it'll be to her ruin, as opposed to constantly remaking yourself or being, whoever it is that you're going to be now. So I think about that stuff a lot, just in terms of a warning to me, just like, don't, this thing seems alluring, but it's not real. Like, don't base yourself on that, because it's going to change, and pretty soon no one's going to know who you are. And it's like, and that's fine. Like, it helps me live small.